Guys, freaking giveaway in the description down below. You only got like a day left or something. Make sure if you haven't signed up for the freaking Razor Mouse, you do that and go watch that video where I explained all of that stuff. Roll the intro! Don't you do it, Flash. Do not freaking make Ronnie Savitar. Is that what you're hinting at? Oh my gosh. Do not bring that motherfucker back to this show. Can you please just let people die in the past and stop bringing them back? Now you might be confused on why I just had that little outburst. It's because it seems like that maybe Ronnie is gonna be Savitar, and it just it doesn't. It's stupid. And I get where they're gonna, I can already play out the whole damn season and how it happened in my brain, and it's so stupid, and all of this jazz, and I'm just like, oh my god, and some people are gonna start putting in the comments, I told you it was Ronnie, I told you it was Ronnie, oh my god, you guys had no freaking evidence or basis on why it would be Ronnie with anything. You were just purely guessing, and I've read a lot of the comments, and nobody put a solid theory out there. There was some freaking future Barry theories, and there were some freaking Eddie theories, but nobody had any evidence to why it would actually be Ronnie, because it made no freaking sense. People were just guessing because they want him to come back. Anyways, I'm just a little salty right now because I think, I am tired of these freaking, let's just bring somebody back for a review, and oh my god, it's so shocking! You want to know something, Flash? I will be shocked the moment you don't repeat the same shit from the previous season. But Juice, why do you think it's Ronnie? Well, let me fucking tell you a little nugget. The reason why it seems like it's Ronnie is because of freaking Killer Frost's body language and just the way she acted in this freaking episode. We got to see her in the future and we got to see her in the past. And both times she was very, very supportive of Savitar. When Barry went to the future and talked to her, he was all like, you know who Savitar is? And she was like, I'll never tell. Why would she never tell? One, yes, because she's a bad guy, but two, it's probably because she cares about the person under the armor and she doesn't want them to get in trouble, so she rather just, hold that down because she's the loyal. I was gonna say bitch, but then I was like, I like Kayla, I don't wanna call her bitch. And at the end of the episode, we see her freaking running through the woods, or I should say walking through the woods in the snow, and freaking Savitar's right there, and he's all like, I want to give you, whatever you want, or, the peace of mind, or whatever the hell he said, I don't even care at this point. And she's all like, why should I trust you? And he freaking bends over, gets out of his whole armor suit, and we find out that there is just a normal person in there, which we thought that was going to be over time. Once he steps out of the freaking suit, of course, we don't see what he looks like. We just see the back of his head or whatever, and it looks like he has hair, kind of. It's probably dark brown hair or whatever. When he steps out, Caitlin's just all like, tell me what I need to do. Just like that! And there's only one person I think of that could make her do something like that, and that would be the former love of her life who has died multiple times and has came back to, freaking die again. Ronnie. He is the only person I could see Killer Frost just flat out doing whatever he says. That's the only thing. And that totally blows. And look, I'm going to tell you the whole storyline right now. I don't even know if we're going to get to the rest of the episode and talk about everything right now. This is what's going to happen. We saw freaking, when did he disappear? At the end of season 1? I just don't even want to talk about it because I know it's what Flash is thinking already. So what's going to happen is if it is Ronnie, because I don't know who else freaking Caitlin would bow to, and we just saw that everybody in the future from Team Flash is pretty much still in the future. So it's not going to be any of them. It has to be somebody else. And it's not going to be Eddie. She's not going to bow to Eddie. So it can't cancel his fucking face out. It's going to be Ronnie. Sorry, I'm just trying to record this thing, but at the same time, I'm trying to think. I'm like, please tell me that there's another way this could happen. And I just don't know. But anyways, this is what's going to happen. At the end of season 1, we know that freaking Firestorm went up into the singularity and freaking him and Martin separated. That's why Martin's still on the damn show, and that's why he's still with what's his name in Legends of Tomorrow, and they're Firestorm now, and Ronnie got sucked away, and what's going to happen is somehow he got freaking sucked through time or some bullshit, and he ended up in the Speed Force, and that's how he got saved, and he ended up becoming the first speedster, although technically Flash was before him, but it's the freaking Speed Force, so he can go to at any time period in the whole world. So he's rumored to be the first ever speedster, or he's just been in the Speed Force for so long that he became super fast, and he ended up creating this freaking armor, because remember, he's a fucking engineer, so he can know how to build shit like this. So he just ends up building the suit of armor that helps him protect himself, run through the whole Speed Force, or maybe in the Speed Force he finds this kind of material, or in the damn Singularity there was all that metal that was flying around, so maybe he created it with the Speed Force, and that's how he made his suit. I don't really fucking know. There could be a million possibilities, but what I'm telling you is that they're gonna use that damn Season 1 ending, and that's how he's gonna freaking be Savitar. And I know a lot of you guys out there are gonna be super pissed, because that's exactly what you've been saying about Eddie forever, and they're just gonna fucking use it on Ronnie. I have like this much freaking hope right now that it's not gonna be Ronnie, and that's how freaking little I'm holding on to that, because I just don't see who the hell Caitlyn, even Killer Frost, I don't see anybody that she would bow down to like that. And remember, freaking even Killer Frost loved Ronnie even when they were both evil. Because remember, when he wasn't Firestorm on Earth 2, he was Deathstorm. And they were evil together. So if somehow he's fuck you, Flash. Seriously, fuck you, Flash. Like, that's all I gotta say. Because now, oh my god, I'm just like, seriously just breaking down right now. Because you did it to me last year. You did it to me last year where you were saying, oh my god. They're gonna make me lose it, guys. I swear to God. If it is freaking Ronnie, Flash just use the same fucking ending with the same reveal of a character for the second or third, maybe even third fucking time in a row. And just like last year, one character is gonna play like 3 different people. Granted, this time it makes a little bit more sense and it's a little bit more plausible than freaking Jay Garrick being freaking Barry Allen and all that other shit. I'm not gonna get back into that because, oh my god, I'm already pissed enough. But if the freaking Flash makes Ronnie Savitar, like, fuck you, Flash. Like, be a little bit more creative than that. Like, you could have just badass villains. You don't need these crazy reveals to try to make your show good. You got solid material right now. You don't gotta throw all these switcheroos around. Just look over at your buddy Arrow. They had a really awesome reveal with freaking Prometheus, and they did a crazy switcheroo, and they brought in a new character and made you think he was another character, and all this other crazy shit. They didn't bring back somebody from the past, okay? Like, although they have all their little problems, and we're not gonna get into that, but I'm just saying, Season 6 of Arrow, Season 6 or 5? Season 5. They've been doing really good. Their twists are really good. They've had solid freaking episodes and a solid storyline, and you have done the same fucking thing for 3 seasons. Seriously, I don't even know what to keep talking about in this damn video. It is literally just me ranting at this point. So I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop right now. That is what I've said about the whole Ronnie thing. I do want to know, I'm going to talk about other stuff in this episode, but I just want to know in the comment sections down below, if it's not Ronnie, if it is somebody else, who the fuck would Caitlyn bow down to like that, the way she did in this episode? Let me know who else it could be. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the rest of the episode, if anybody even cares. I've already talked about Killer Frost, but at the start of the episode, we saw her get worked twice. She freaking got hit with Vibe, and then she got hit by Barry, but she ends up escaping, and we saw that whole little thing. And while she's on the freaking run, Barry's all like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the freaking future, because, you know, he can come back whenever he wants, and it's not like he's even gone. But he ends up going to the freaking future, and he sees everybody's, like, depressing fucking story on how Savitar worked everybody. And I told you guys that freaking Wally was gonna get all ragey and go after Savitar, and he's gonna get his freaking back broken. That's why he was in the wheelchair. So that totally happened. But he like destroyed Wally like somehow, because Wally is just like there, like in a trance. Like, I was just like, oh shit. So we got to see freaking everybody from Team Flash just get worked in the future, and how desperate and depressed they are in the future. And like, man, it was pretty rough to see all of that, especially Terminator Cisco. Freaking Caitlyn broke off his hands and he can't vibe anymore, so now he's the freaking Terminator under his gloves. Like, that was actually kind of cool. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. But surprisingly, Cisco was still hella upbeat in the future. I mean, for like, even after the whole band, you know, freaking breaking apart and there's no more Team Flash and all that jazz, he still wanted to keep doing that, and he was still pretty optimistic in the future. What? Where's that Cisco all the time? Remember how we had salty Cisco for the first half of this freaking season? But in the future, he loses both of his hands and becomes the Terminator, and he's still got a lot of optimism. He wasn't bouncing off walls or anything, but like, he was just happy to see Barry, and you know, he just still had a smile on his face and stuff like that. But yeah, it was crazy. Gotta say, I loved freaking HR in the future, and you know what? You know what? Seeing HR in the future doesn't mean that he's actually somebody that sacrifices himself, because he seems to actually be a good part of the team in the future for the Flash. And he freaking writes, you know, dirty, sexy novels, and ladies want to join up with each other and, have relations with him. Good on you, HR. It looks like you probably had the best life after Team Flash. Emo Barry was kind of a bitch for a long time, and he becomes a super bitch after Iris dies, which is understandable, but like, he like goes so freaking down the tunnel, and like, you can't even get him out of there with like a 40 million foot ladder. Just stop recording on me, why don't you, damn camera? Anyways, yeah, so Barry was being a super emo bitch. Like, I'm talking about like Papa Roach level emo in this episode. And, you know, he breaks all his promises and all that jazz. But, of course, this is the Flash. So, at the end of the episode, he finally gets off his little bitch ass, and he becomes the Flash again. And he actually saved himself from Top and Mirror Master, who are actually getting a lot more powerful in the future, but still don't have their damn costumes. And what the hell, Flash? Like, come on, bro. Give me something. If you're gonna give me Ronnie as Savitar, at least give me Mirror Master with his freaking costume. So Barry doesn't really get any help in the future except the name Tracy Brand and that little chip or whatever that, future Barry gives to past Barry, and you know, he's gonna have to decipher that, and they're gonna have to find Tracy Brand, and she's gonna have to figure out how to beat Savitar. And when I was watching that, and I was thinking about the whole funeral scene and like who they could be going to, what if Tracy Brand died? Now, I know we were going off of those photos from the Flash Instagram that was saying like, oh, somebody in these photos are gonna die, but like, really, like, how well can we trust an Instagram account? Like, I've always told you guys to be very weary of those kind of things, because a lot of people, you know, they just want the views, they want the clickbait and stuff like that. I mean, they could be right, they could be 100% right. I don't film in there, I don't know where that person lives on that Instagram account, but, you know, it could be somebody else that dies and not somebody in those photos. What if, you know, this team starts working with Tracy Brand, she does everything she can, and Savitar kills her because she's working on a device to beat him, and the whole gang goes to freaking, you know, her funeral because, well, you know, it's the nice thing to do when somebody freaking dies trying to save your ass. It's just something that I thought, and then also after the whole possibility of Ronnie being Savitar, what if they defeat Savitar and the funeral is for freaking Ronnie, because that would explain why Killer flossed. Because remember, in those photos, everybody was dressed in black, Killer Frost was there, she's there with all her friends. Maybe she's good. Maybe she's paying respects to Ronnie. Maybe they had just beat Savitar, and they're like, bada bing, bada boom, let's have a funeral, a proper one, and say goodbye to Ronnie forever, and never have him on this damn show again, Flash! So boom, that's a possibility there too. Maybe they beat Savitar another way, but they have to kill Ronnie to do it. And, yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be pretty interesting to see what happens. But if it is Ronnie that is Savitar, fuck you, Flash. At least we know in the future Barry and Cisco are still BFFs. Now the last thing I want to touch on is what happens on April 25th, 2024. Because remember, at the start of this episode, on the newspaper that the Flash gets that he knows he's in 2024, or that he uses to know that he's in 2024, it's February 3rd, 2024. So he's a few months out, or he's actually a couple of months out before he actually is supposed to disappear like he does in the newspaper. Now, the best logical idea, and I've talked about this with a few people, is that when he disappears, when Iris writes that newspaper, it's when him and Reverse Flash go back in time. So when Reverse Flash goes back to kill him when he's a kid, more than likely that's when he disappears because he has to save himself. And when he saves himself, that probably erases and changes the timeline, I think. I don't freaking know. I just kind of give up on that theory because you would think by what happens in the CW universe or how they explain time travel, the moment Barry saved himself in the past, he changes the future. So you would think that the future headline of 2024 would change unless it's another event that changes April 25th, 2024. But the only thing I can really think of is actually Reverse Flash and Flash going back in time and then just basically starting everything we've seen for 3 seasons. And we know from this episode that in 2024, Barry just gets the band back together, and, in 2 months that's gonna happen. But now, with him giving that information to past Barry, and if they defeat Savitar, Iris doesn't die, that changes the freaking future, meaning we're never gonna get Emo Barry, so maybe that's what gets us past freaking 2024 and deletes the newspaper altogether. That's something that could happen at the end of this season if they do that. And maybe that whole freaking newspaper just gets deleted, and that would allow for Barry to stay alive all the way to 2056 or whatever that, that freaking date they used in Legends of Tomorrow. Right? I don't know. I feel like that kind of makes sense. My brain right now is just like Ronnie, so stupid, so stupid, so stupid. But I don't know, guys. I want to know what you think. You just, that's my brain right now. Talk some sense into me. Tell me why you think it's good. Some of you guys actually had some really good counter arguments in the freaking Riddler video yesterday. So, some of you people can talk me off the ledge with that. Let me know. But I still think it's freaking stupid. Because the one thing you're not going to be able to freaking get away from me is that Flash hasn't used the same damn thing for 3 seasons in a row. That is factual information. We've had 3 reveals. We've had 3 speedster villains. We've had 3 people shit. Whatever. It's the same shit. Ronnie's going to play 3 different characters just like Jay Garrick. And it's just like, whatever. But it's going to be 3 different superhero personalities. The Jay Garrick thing just makes no sense because he's freaking Jay Garrick and not John Wesley shit, but he's freaking Jay Garrick and Henry Allen. Doesn't make any sense doppelganger-wise. The Ronnie thing makes a little bit more sense the way they'll do it, but I still think it's stupid. That's all I got for this Flash episode, guys. Let me know what you thought of this whole episode. Do you think Ronnie is going to be Savitar? Do you think it's going to be somebody else? Do you think it's still going to be Eddie? Do you think it's still just going to be a rando, which I would love for that to be just somebody we haven't seen, but I just don't see. I don't see it with what Killer Frost / Caitlyn did tonight. I just don't see it being anybody else, and it might not make sense if it's not Ronnie now because of just what we saw. But let me know your thoughts in the comment sections down below. Guys and gals, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share with all your Flash buddies. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for all things nerdy and geeky on this channel. As always, I'm your host, JUICEbox. Remember, when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself something. If I have my daily dose of juice, see you guys next time. Bam!